Kia just massively increased the price of their EV6 electric car, which I have to say I was pretty disappointed about. I really liked the EV6, but now you can buy 2 Chevy Bolts for the same price as the base model EV6. That seems like a pretty good deal to me. And I'm talking about the Bolt, not the EV6. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. My name's Sam Evans. Great to see you. Hope you've had an amazing week. The Kia EV6, is it a good EV? Is it worth considering? Definitely, if you can get your slimy little hands on one, because no, just kidding. But really, it is a good car. And I haven't seen one yet anywhere except on video, because there's very few of them in Australia because they're hard to get your hands on. I've seen a couple of Hyundai Ioniq 5s. You know what? I wouldn't mind an Ioniq 5 or an EV6, but you've got to basically win the lottery here in Australia. And I mean, no amount of money can get you one of these cars unless, you can buy one secondhand from someone who wants to make a big markup on them. But in Australia, you've got to wait. You've got to basically go online and just be really lucky at the right time to get one of them, or just wait for a long, long time. Now, I know the same situation is going on in the US. I've heard people saying that they've waited more than 6 months for an EV6, and then the dealerships can't tell them anything, can't say when they're going to be coming, so they're not just cancelling their orders and buying something like an EUV or a Tesla or something like that. So there's a big challenge here with the EV6. Clearly, right, Kia are going to have some challenges because they're not manufactured in the United States. So they won't be qualifying for incentives anytime soon. They will manufacture them in the US, but that's going to take a little while. So that means that thanks to these new price increases, the EV6 is going to be quite an expensive car. Kia is dropping the base light trim level of its popular EV6 for 2023. This means the new base model comes in at a price of $49,000 US. So the cheapest Kia EV6 is now $7,100 US more expensive, plus no more tax credit. That's $7,500. That's $14,600 difference in the terms of the price you would pay for one. Ouch. That kind of stings if you're someone who's been waiting for one and you haven't gotten it, right? What do? Do you pay the extra $14,600, or do you just move on and buy a new car, a different car? I'm going to suspect that a lot of people probably just move on and buy a different car. Now, I've been hearing that in the US, EV6s have been selling for a lot more than MSRP at dealerships. So who knows, maybe this will make no difference at dealerships at all. I'm not sure. To give you guys an idea of the actual models you can get, 2022's base model EV6 had a smaller battery. That came with 232 miles of EPA range. Now, the main difference between the cheaper model, the base model, and the more expensive model is the smaller battery versus the bigger battery pack. The bigger battery pack will give you 310 miles of range, or if you want to get the all-wheel drive version, 274 miles of range. Now, in addition to that, the higher model trims also have better performance, more power, and of course the all-wheel drive model has all-wheel drive and extra motor with obviously that extra power, that extra motor. So, Kia and the IRA. Well, because cars that are assembled and built outside of North America no longer qualify for electric vehicle incentives, which I think is fair, that means the EV6 doesn't qualify at all. And frankly, Kia won't be building the EV6 in the US for at least a couple of years. They're saying they're going to be building them in the US in 2024. I think it might take a little longer than that. But even then, if it's 2024, we're still looking at probably 2 years away. That means, honestly, I think Kia's going to have a hard time selling these vehicles because that's a pretty big difference. We're looking at already, right? The $6,000 price increase plus the $7,500. I mean, that's a massive difference in price. Now you're looking at, say, getting the new Tesla Model Y base model with the 4680 cells in the structural pack for, well, actually maybe even less money than the base model EV6 if you factor in the incentives. Now, apparently, Electric reports that there are some efforts in Congress to try to fix this so-called problem. I don't see it as a problem. I think it's fair. But anyhow, and allow Kia to re-qualify certain cars for tax credits. But these are not genuine efforts, and it's more than likely not going to happen. However, we will find out within the next 24 hours whether or not this actually passes through Congress. And then, well, everything in this video might be wrong. Maybe Kia's vehicles will actually qualify. I don't believe they will, but that definitely could actually change. Now, if you're wondering how does this face up in comparison to the Kia Niro, the Kia Niro EV starts at $39,199 $450 US in the US. In Australia, it's around about $70,000, just under 70,000 Australian dollars. So it's around about 50,000 US here in Australia. So the Niro EV is approximately 7,000 US cheaper than the base model EV6. But should you even buy an EV6 in the first place? Well, you know what? General Motors say they're ramping production of the Bolt and the Bolt EV. That's definitely worth considering, because if you can get 2 Bolts for the price of one EV6, well, that's 2 for the price of 1, right? And whoever said they didn't like a 2 for the price of 1 type deal? Now, obviously, it's not really 2 for the price of 1. You get my point, though. Now, the Bolt EUV, on the other hand, could actually be a good option in comparison to the EV6. EV6 is definitely bigger, but is it bigger and worth paying an extra 20,000 US for? Maybe not. Personally, that's probably the option that I would choose if you're looking for a more affordable electric car. I definitely would prefer the EUV over the Kia Niro, which I don't think is really that great for the price. Now, that said, Kia and Hyundai both say that the range, right, of their new batteries and their new platforms in their EVs that are going to be coming out in 2024 will be 40% higher than what it is today. Now, if you believe that, well, you could be right. Maybe they're telling the truth. I hope they are, because that is absolutely incredible. And I made a video about that, what Kia and Hyundai claim they're going to do in 2024, which is frankly amazing. I'll put a link in the description below to that video. Make sure you check that one out. And as always, my friends, have a great day. Bye-bye.